In this video, I want to respond to a message I got. It wasn't a question or anything like that, but sometimes I hear something or see something that I kind of want to hook into for someone. They didn't ask, but I'm going to go ahead and do this. My name is Dan Paulson. Welcome to the channel. And I'm working on the interpretation of the templates and finding the templates in the material from antiquity, religious and spiritual material, including the Bible, which is where I'm focusing on right now. And I'm prepared. I mean, if somebody was to sit me down and take the time, I'm prepared to demonstrate how Jason and the Argonauts is built on the same platform as Exodus. But it just takes a while to get there. There's a process that has to happen in the mind for people to read this. Somebody's behind the curtain. I don't know who. This has been in place. These templates, I can find them in Gilgamesh material and Babylonian material, Hindu material, the oldest material, spiritual and religious material. So what are those templates? But at any rate, in this case, there's something a little bit different because there's also experiences that the seeker has in life that are not just about the templates and what to do, but now how does life unfold? How does this work? What happens to us? And let me read this comment first, and then I'll cover it. I think another difference between the seeking type and the not is the willingness to let go of belief systems when they come up false or empty. It really doesn't bother me to drop a belief system, no matter how long I held it or loved it. A lot of people are afraid to. Now, seekers can get trapped in new beliefs real easy, so we have to pay attention. And most really don't realize most knowledge they think they have is just part of a belief system. So it's tricky and very sticky. And yeah, that's exactly right. And I think that these are the kind of things that we just want to probably talk about them amongst ourselves because they are experiences that we have. And I think for me, looking back on my life, I went through this and there was a lot of confusion. There was nobody to talk to. You're trying to figure things out and wonder, why am I different? Why does this not work? How come there's something that's different about me? And there's nobody here to guide us on those paths. The material from antiquity is there. What I want to do real quick is talk about the Buddha. There's a story that's very deliberate about him when he first, if you don't know the Buddha, he came from he was a prince and was going to grow up and become the ruler of the land of his territory. But he had the option to leave that. He left that and wanted to become a holy man instead. And I won't go through the whole story there, but when he left and he took off to study, he would go find somebody and study with them and learn everything they had and eventually say, "You don't have what I'm looking for," and he would leave. And he did this until eventually he just went off on his own. Now, I'm going to say that all of these stories, I look at them as the Buddha not having existed, that Lao Tzu not having existed, Jesus not having existed. And if they did, it doesn't matter. They're all using the same template. None of them should be looked at as above the others. There's something deeper in there. The story about the Buddha is one that you just described. We're going and learning and trying to figure things out. We're the ones that go, I'm going to go learn this because I'm young. I don't know anything. My mind is voracious. I want to know. We hook into it. We listen to it. We absorb what people say. We get on board with what they're doing. We fit into the program. Then very quickly, we cease to fit because we start looking at things. And once we have enough knowledge and information up here, we begin to process things that they're saying and going, wait a minute, that thing that you told me before, if you think that through, it doesn't make sense here. This doesn't make sense. As we learn, we're continually learning and going through a growth process in the same. Does that sound like Buddha? I'm going to learn what I can until you get to a certain point and go, wow, you don't really have what I'm looking for after all. They are happy to sit there. This is incredibly common for me compared to what you said or what this comment was. Somebody telling you, the Bible says this in this verse. You either buck up or you're going to live eternity in hell. And you cannot reason with that individual. They have a small parcel of information that they are convinced of. They're not the same kind of person. They're not looking, they're not seeking. They haven't even grown outside of their local beliefs. And, once in a while people might cross over or whatnot, but by and large, people become products of their local beliefs. And, there are personalities like us, though, that you will say, I'm done with that. I'm going to go learn something different. The same thing happens. You start going, okay, yeah, this sounds a little different. And you start absorbing it. You process it through, and after a while, you're like, okay, this isn't working either. But that's what's described here, not having a conviction to something so strong that you're not willing to question it and go, yeah, this isn't working. I'm going to let it go. The seeker is going to do that because if you hang on to a religion anywhere in the world, I don't think you have the template. The bottom line core, they are the carriers. Jesus has this. Many are called, few are chosen. Many are the directions looking outward that lead to destruction, but there's only one pathway leading inward, going through the narrow gate, turning it inward. As all these people are saying things like that and quoting, 5 Bible verses at you, you realize right off the bat they're very, very incredibly, they're not knowledgeable. They're more fear-based, and they're just going to throw at you what their fear is. Believe in God or you're going to hell. That's what they're afraid of. They are fearful, and they think that believing in God is going to do it, and they throw that at you without realizing your mind is someplace they can't get to. They cannot get there. Okay, so let me interpret this story from the Buddha really directly. What we have here, if we look at it, we're the one on the path. We're going to be the Buddha. We're the one that is the chosen one. We become the Buddha, and no, we start off as ourselves, Siddhartha Gautama, but we're going to become the Buddha. We're going to become the enlightened one. And as we go along, we learn and we find out from all of the masters that they don't know, they don't have what we're looking for. We are going to find something different. Jump 500 years later, approximately, to Jesus and the teachings there. There's a parallel. Do you know this one? Jesus is 12 years old and disappears from his family. He's found at the temple, astounding the wise men. So here's all the people that had all the answers, but they didn't have the right answer. He had the right answer. So it depends on what perspective you're looking at. The story's being carried there. You are that person. I see that. There are times people say things that you know exactly where they're coming from. It tells you something. And when you hear something like, I have studied things, get into it, leave it. Study things, get into it, leave it, study things, and you go, I recognize that right there. I know what that is. I've done that, and it's written. It's in the material. You're a seeker. You just said the right things. You are experiencing that naturally. You're not going, what do I need to do? I need to learn this stuff. You will find yourself, personality-wise, you're doing it. What you need to do is become aware that you're doing it, and that's how it's, I mean, you can function better with it if you know that it's a normal process and that you're doing the right thing and that it's okay. That it's nothing to, I'm lost, I don't know what to do. We're finding, we're gathering, we're seeing, we're getting a bigger picture. We're growing our brains to a bigger capacity of awareness to see a larger picture. And I wanted to say that. Somebody throws a verse at me and says, you this, you that I see a shut down mind right there. Non-seeking, closed mind, no knowledge. I see someone with incredible confidence doing that, or a tone of, here's the way it is. The people that seem to know the least have the most confidence, and the people that learn the most realize, wow, there's a lot out there. No, I don't know. Yeah, that's you. You're a seeker. I recognize that. Welcome aboard. All right, everyone else, I hope it was helpful. I think that if you're a seeker, you're going to fit into this. You're going to find that you've done this in life. That you haven't sat there and focused on one religion, that you've tried different things along the way going, I'm looking for something else. I'm looking for something else. That's what Buddha did. In their day and age, they would have been able to pick people out of the crowd. If you were the kind of person that was talking like you were, they would pick you out and say, hey, come here. We're going to teach you what's going on here. You get to be behind the curtain with us because you've got what it takes up here. We need more stories. We need more analogs. We need people that get this. And most of the population does not. You're stepping into rare air as far as I'm concerned. But it's hard to see. And it sounds arrogant as hell to anybody who goes, I don't even know what you're talking about. Believe in God or go to hell. Yeah, well, that's our lot in life. We can't keep this in secret. We're too spread out. Our society's not optimized for us to get together. This is it. But this is the World Wide Web. Here we go. Can we link up? All right. I wanted to say that. And, congratulations. And, it's good and it's bad. You comment about seeing things sometimes is not so okay. And that's true. Ignorance is bliss. It really is. And awareness can be pretty frustrating when you look around and see what people are doing without knowing it, thinking that they do. All right. Hope this was fun. Love one another. I'll see you in the next video.